Hello, hello, hello on the Facebook Live. Hello on the YouTube Live. My name is Amma Nancy. We'll get started in just a second. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no. Not yet. Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me loud and clear. My name is Amma Nancy. Oh, good evening, Millionaire. Wait, I'm like, okay, look. My face is shiny. This light, whatever. Right? So I'm all about financial empowerment, economic empowerment, personal financial success. So I'm going to be shooting these videos, or going Facebook Live, actually. Facebook Lives called Good Evening Millionaire. My name is Amma. I go by AmmaTheCPA. Literally, so listen, whatever kind of business you do, I just want to remind you, it doesn't matter what type of business you run, whatever it is that you do, what you do for a living at all, I'm here to help. Okay, I am a certified public accountant, so we don't care how you make a living, it's what you do with it. A lot of people don't have a quality life, right? And that's what makes you, what you do with it is how you have a quality life. So, good evening, millionaires. So what I want to do in this Facebook Live is I want to go over the top 12 if we don't run out of time. If we run out of time, because I don't want to keep it too long, right? If we run out of time, then I'll do 6 and then do the next 6 tomorrow. Right? But so what I want to go over is a lot of times people don't realize that they are drowning, right? People don't realize that they're drowning until it's too late. So what ends up happening, if you talk to literally any homeless person, right, what ends up happening is that they are living paycheck to paycheck. They're living paycheck to paycheck. And next thing you know, something happens, some disaster, some catastrophe, right? They have to pay for it. Then that puts them, that starts like a whole whirlwind, right? They literally spiral out of control. Sometimes it'll be one thing after another. And you know how sometimes one thing can happen, one bad thing can happen. It'll be like, okay, now I need tires. Now I need an alternator. Or you may take your car into the shop. If you're like me, you take it in thinking you need a light bulb. It turns out you need to replace the entire socket, right? Because water leaked in there. It's like, of course water leaked in there. It's a car. But whatever. So it's like, then that happens. Then it's the alternator. Then it's the brakes. Then it's the tires, right? And it's just one thing after another. You may have kids. It's something with your kids, their education, it's one thing after another. And it literally can spiral out of control to the point where now you're in a worse situation. Now you are going to payday loans. Now you're going to, you're putting stuff on your credit card, right? That shouldn't be on your credit card. So I want to go through the top 12 financial warning signs. Now listen, one of these is an issue, okay? If you have 2 or more, it's an outright problem, and you want to try to correct it as soon as you possibly can. Okay, so I have these down in my notes, right? So, number 1, the first thing I want to go over is you are paying off one debt with another. Now, a lot of times people will suggest this. They'll say, oh, if you find a credit card that has a 0% interest, right? And you want to transfer that whole balance. You have a year to pay it off. You transfer that whole balance to this one with the 0% interest. Okay, you can do that, right? You can do that. But like I said, one of these is an issue, right? And two or more is an outright problem. So think about it. You may have that one, but you already are in trouble because you have to put all this other debt. It's like, why do you have so much debt in the first place? Okay. So, but like I said, one is an issue, and then two, you are like almost drowning. So if you are transferring credit card balances, like one credit card to another credit card, then that's a problem, right? So this is the first one. And if you guys are taking notes, then you want to write this down. If you are paying off debt with another debt, right? Or if you are paying your mortgage, your car, or your student loans with a credit card. Now, believe it or not, now to some people it may sound crazy, but believe it or not, a lot of Americans actually do that because you don't want the repo man to come back and take your car. You know that you have to pay for the car, and then you may have a credit card over here with, I don't know, $3,000 limit. So you're like, okay, well, I don't have the money right now to pay for my car note, so I'm going to put my car note on this credit card so they won't come and repo my car, right? And then I'll just pay that off later. But then unfortunately what ends up happening is that later it just keeps getting pushed back. Later just keeps getting pushed back. So then you end up with, okay, so now you have 2 months. You may have 2 months on there. Now you have the insurance on there, right? And it just keeps building up and building up. So I want you guys to kind of listen to these things. And literally, like I said, if anything is an issue, always feel free to reach out to me. I am a certified public accountant. I'm definitely here to help. So let me know. So number two, right? You have no idea how much money is in the bank. If you have no idea how much money is in the bank, that's like the prerequisite, so to speak, for living from paycheck to paycheck. Because a lot of times what people will do is they don't have any idea of what's in the bank. And so what they'll do is literally just look at their bank statement or look at their phone, their bank app, and see how much money they have in their account. And then that will determine in their mind if they can afford to buy something or not, right? So you'll be in the store and then you'll be like, oh my God, that is so cute. That is so cute. I gotta, wait, let me see how much money I have. And then you go and you look and then you're like, okay, it's money in my account. Let me get it, right? But then what you didn't take into consideration is that it was a holiday, it was the weekend, so your car insurance came out 2 days later. Your student loans came out 3 days later. So now the next week after you spent this money in the mall, right, because you had no idea of what was in your bank account, now you spent this money. Now all this stuff is coming out of your account and you're like, oh my God, what is going on? Like what happened, right? What happened? And that's what happens. So you should always have an idea of what's in your account. Everybody does not sit down and reconcile their bank statement every single month, right? I know that. I won't even tell you guys to do that because I know that you won't. Right? Not every single month, but what you want to do, you want to know what's coming out and you want to have an idea of how much money you should have. You should know how much money you should have after you have put money into your savings account, put money into like all your bills and expenses. You should know how much you have. And more importantly, you should know what your discretionary money is. So I'll shoot another video about like how you can set that up with your discretionary money and what's the best thing to do with that. But if you have no idea how much money is in your bank account, then that's definitely a problem. Okay. Number three. Oh, before I get off of number two, this is what causes overdraft fees too. So you have no idea what's in the bank and then you spend all this money. Now the next week, stuff starts coming out that you forgot about. And now you have overdraft fees. So anytime, it sounds so crazy, but it's like your lack of money will cost you more money because you have a penalty for not having money in your account. And then it's almost like they know I don't have no money. Right now they're going to charge me $35, and they charge you $35 per every time it goes negative. So literally, if you have $35 in your account and something comes out for $35 in your account, something comes out for $32, and then something comes out for $6, right? Now you're like, this is $6. They can't just cover this for me. And but no, they cannot. They can't cover it for you. And it's not even the whole $6 negative. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my house shoe. Right. Sorry about that. My feet got cold. So then it goes negative, and now you have to pay a $35 insufficient fund fee. And just a sidebar, banks literally made $5 billion, $5 billion with the B, $5 billion off of insufficient funds alone. Okay, insufficient fund fees, which means that's a lot of times that they charge people $35. Okay, so with that being said, that's one of the things that you definitely want to make sure that you keep an eye on if you have no idea how much money is in the bank. So I think that I will stop after number 6, and then I'll make this a part 1 and a part 2. Number 3, you use your credit card for basic needs. Like, a lot of times people will do this too, right? So for example, let's say you're in the grocery store and you know you have a lot of groceries. Now you may have an idea of what's in your bank account. So then for you to feel safe, quote unquote safe, right? Then you say, okay, well, let me put it on my American Express. Let me put the groceries on my American Express. Let me put the groceries on my Visa because I'm not sure what else is coming out, right? So just to be safe, you're like, oh, well, let me put it on here and then I'll pay it off later. But unfortunately, what ends up happening is later gets pushed back, and pushed back because you put the groceries on there. Other things came out of your account. Bills that maybe you forgot about, bills that maybe you didn't think they were as much as they are, or whatever, because maybe you didn't have any idea what was in your account, right? So you wanted to be safe. So now that starts coming out. So you can't really put all the money towards the groceries. Now you have to pay interest on groceries, right? Now you have to pay interest on gas. Maybe you use it at the gas pump. Use your regular credit card for basic needs. That is a telltale warning sign, a telltale financial warning sign, okay? Number four. Oh, and thank you so much for the shares on the Facebook Live. Thank you for the shares, and welcome to the replay. I don't know where my manners are. Thank you for the shares, and welcome to the replay. So number four, we're going, if you just joined us, we're going over the top 12 financial warning signs, but I'm going to do 6 this evening and I'm going to do 6 tomorrow evening. So number 4 is you have no savings account, or well below the recommended $3,000 to cover emergency situations. So here's the thing. You definitely want to have at least $3,000 to $5,000 in an emergency fund saved up for emergencies. I always bring up the car because I feel like that's the thing that always, you know, it seems like it's always something with a car, you know, insurance, tires, gas, alternator, you name it, right? And not even from personal experience, just from like other, you know, other people, right? I know tires are expensive as I don't know what. Okay, so let's say so number 4 is you have no savings, or you have well below. So you want to have at least $3,000 to $5,000 saved up for emergencies, right? And this is just for emergencies, anything that could possibly go wrong, and you never know, and that's why it's called an emergency. So you want to have that money set aside so that you don't have to go into your regular money, because what's going to happen if you have to pay something that's relatively expensive because it's an emergency. You know, it may even be your kid. The other day, my friend's son fell in the playground. He was playing lava floor. Right now, I used to play that when I was a kid too. Me and my brother. It was everything on the floor, right? Like snakes and everything. So he was playing lava floor. So he had to get, you know, stay off the floor, and he was on the fence, fell off the fence and broke his arm. Now, what if the insurance didn't cover part of that, right? So now you have to pay for, maybe your insurance doesn't cover x-rays, or maybe you don't have insurance, you know, who knows? But it's just those types of things. You know, kids play, kids run and jump, anything happens, somebody, you know, anything can happen, right? So you want to have that $3,000 to $5,000 put up for emergencies. So if you don't have that, now 69% of Americans do not have at least $1,000, but you definitely want to work towards that if you don't have that already. Okay, number 5, right? Number 5, and give me a number 5 on the Facebook Live. I know I'm so late. Give me a number 5 on the Facebook Live, and thank you so much for the shares. Number 5 is you avoid opening bills and credit card statements, and you refuse to answer calls from 800 numbers. Now, I'll take them in order. Sometimes you may refuse to open the bill because you know that you know you owe it, right? And you may not even want to see it because you know that you owe it. You know that you haven't paid it. So now you haven't paid it. Now they're sending you another one. You can see that it's red, you know, before you even open it. They have the red slip in there, like final notice, right? Because you've been avoiding it for so long. Now they're sending you the final notice. So you are avoiding opening up bills. You are avoiding opening up credit card statements because it's almost like a guess, you know, at the end of the month or whenever they send the bill. Now you don't even want to see it because you're like, oh my God, I have to. What, you know, because you know that maybe you went overboard on the credit card. So now you don't even want to open up the bill. Okay, so that's definitely a telltale warning sign. And then 800 numbers. Now, granted, a lot of us do not want to talk to bill collectors and credit collectors and stuff like that on the phone. But at the same time, if you are avoiding them, like me, I may answer just to see, like, what is this 800 number? You know, because I know I don't owe anything. So what is this? You know, and then I call in there like, you know, congratulations, you have been, and I'm like, click. Right? But if you are afraid to answer, it's because you probably know, like, okay, dag, I owe this money. Who is this? Well, everybody is calling me, so whatever, right? So again, we're going through the top 12 financial warning signs, and I'm gonna give you guys the other 6 tomorrow. So this is the first 6. Number 6, this is the last one for this evening for our Good Evening Millionaire class, right? Number 6 is you temporarily stopped your automatic withdrawals for your 401k or other retirement plan. Listen, if you don't do anything with your current money, you definitely want to make sure that you are putting up money for your future lifestyle. You always want to be thinking about your future lifestyle. And just a sidebar, that's your health included, right? So when you don't feel like working out, think about what your 75-year-old self will say, right, to you now. So you definitely want to be doing that. And then especially when it comes to your finances as well, you want to say, you always want to be putting money up for your finances, for your future. You don't want to temporarily stop making those deposits, because what's going to happen is you'll say that it's just temporary because I need the money right now because I have stuff to pay for, right? I got stuff to pay for. I'm going to just stop it for a second, right? So you put it on hold, and then next thing you know, 6 months goes by, a year goes by, 2 years turn into 5 years, and you have not put in anything into your retirement plan. Now, 5 years may not seem like that long of a time, but when you take into consideration compounding interest, and I actually have a video, I explained it yesterday on Good Evening Millionaire. I explained it about how compounding interest works just a little bit with an example of the adjustment versus refund, and saying how you can put what will happen if you put the $500 in a savings account earning 8% interest versus if you don't, right? So you always want to take care of that compounding interest, take care of that retirement account. You do not want to temporarily stop because, like I said, 1 year will turn into 5 before you know it, at the blink of an eye. So these are the top 12 financial warning signs. Like I said, one of them is an issue. 2 or more, you are almost drowning. Okay. And tomorrow evening, I'm going to go over the remaining 12, and I'm always here to help. So I'm Amma the CPA, reminding you, regardless of what type of business that you're in, however you're making your money, I don't care. I'm here to help. We don't care how you make a living, right? It's just important to us that you make a life. Okay. So I'm Amma the CPA, and I will see you guys soon. Good evening, millionaire. Good night, millionaire, I should say. Amma the CPA.